Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Null Zones, the Tarda Zone. RTD defense changes to Davros. Now, I know we've covered this before, but there seems to be a new article out about it, and the article will be put in the link description, and it's from comicbookmovie .com, and the article was released on uh, January 18th, 2024. So, as I said, the article will be linked in the link description. So, if you want to go and check it out. So, let's see um, what he has to say. So, Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davis has confirmed that Davros' new look is permanent, explaining why the decision was made to ditch the iconic villain's scarred appearance and wheelchair. Shortly before Doctor Who's 60th anniversary specials aired, the BBC released a 5-minute short for children in need. In that, the 14th Doctor, newly regenerated, inadvertently travelled back to time when Davros was creating his Daleks, which were then known as the Mark III travel machine. Julian Bleach reprised the role, but ditched the familiar wheelchair and prosthetics to play a Davros who has not yet gone through the transformation, which left his future self scarred and weakened. The tongue-in-cheek and humorous way to reveal that the Doctor inadvertently named his greatest enemies and even provided at least part of their iconic appearance. In a new interview, the Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davis has confirmed that the change to Davros is permanent and was made not just to show what he looked like when he was young. There were serious bad German vibes, which we can't say on YouTube, but the N word that describes the bad Germans of the 1930s. But to move on from potentially problematic stereotypes, we had long conversations about bringing Davros back because he's a fantastic character. But time and society and culture and taste has moved on. You're absolutely wrong there, but I'll get into this. And there is a problem with Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user who's evil, and I had problems with that. Of course, you had problems with it, but most of society didn't have problems with it. But you certainly did because you're coming from a background of obviously bigotry towards uh, people in wheelchairs. So what happened is that you started to project uh, your own bigotry on the rest of us. Nobody ever saw people in wheelchairs as evil. You did. Um, and there's a problem with Davros of old that he's a wheelchair user who's evil, and I had problems with that. And a lot of us on the production team had problems with that of associating disability with evil. And trust me, there's a very long tradition of this. Yeah, there has, and people in wheelchairs didn't have a problem with it until you made it an issue. I'm not blaming people in the past at all, but the world changes, and when the world changes, Doctor Who has to change as well. So we made the choice to bring back Davros without the facial scarring and without the wheelchair or his support unit with functions as a wheelchair. Yeah, support unit, exactly. Not a wheelchair, it's a support unit. You've just added the wheelchair part to put across your own, as I said. This is your own insecurities and your own projection, and you're projecting it onto the fandom. Not everybody saw, as I said, people in wheelchairs as evil, right? People, it's absolutely ridiculous. It is. But according to this article, as I said, I'll read just the rest of it here. I'd say this is how we see Davros now. This is what he looks like. Uh, this is 2023. This is our lens. This is our eye. Things used to be black and white. They're not black and white anymore. And Davros used to look like that, and he looks like this now. And we're absolutely standing by it. It's a night where the issues of disability or otherness is being excluded from society. Come right to the front of the conversation, Davis concluded. So all of the nights to make this change, I thought was absolutely vital to do this, and I'm very, very, very proud of the fact that we have. Some will be quick to accuse Doctor Who of being too PC or woke, but Davis makes some compelling points, and there are elements of Davros which feel dated. Absolutely wrong. Anyway, so according to the article, even though they do quote him in 2023, this change to Davros, we were trying to figure out whether this is going to be permanent or not. According to this article from comicbookmovie.com, the change is going to be permanent. Now, as I said before, right, RTD has come out with this claim that everybody associated people in wheelchairs as evil and all of this. And yes, he is right. In pop culture, Um, we have had movies and TV shows where villains have happened to be in a wheelchair, but in no instance is it because people are bigots towards people in wheelchairs. See, this again is the usual bull crap from a lefty, right? RTD is in a very privileged position. He's been given the golden goose BBC's Doctor Who, right? And he's got Disney money behind him, but he'd rather focus on rubbish like this. I never saw people in wheelchairs as evil. I know a few dickheads that are in wheelchairs, but do I see them as downright evil? No, right? It's just the way it is. All people are dickheads, right? Doesn't matter whether they're in wheelchairs or not. All people can be evil whether they're in wheelchairs or not. Again, this is RTD's own projections, right? And I say this a lot about the left. The left project a lot. They project their own insecurities, they project their own bigotry on the rest of us because they did all of this in the past. Or they might have had some thoughts or feelings. But because everybody is in touch with their feelings on the left and all of this and what they feel they have to atone for even having a thought, right? And this is the thing. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? Davros shouldn't change. You're taking a here's the other side of the coin, right? When that happened, a lot of disabled people came out and said that you took a character away from them. So what do you say to those disabled people, right? See, the problem is, I believe that you're listening to certain people in this fandom who are left wing like yourself and have the same beliefs. Actually, one of them in particular is pretending to be a lefty because it's more lucrative for them, but was a little, as you would call him, a right wing. Uh, he called himself Baby Ballstrick, right? If you're listening to people like that, right, then there's no hope for this show, right? You should be listening to the people that were outraged that you've taken a character away from them because that's exactly what you've done, right? And all Doctor Who fans are mad at this decision, right? Proper, real Doctor Who fans are upset by this decision, not just fans in wheelchairs, right? You've upset a lot of people with this absolutely ridiculous decision. And if this is permanent, right, and this is the way you're going with the show now, you are going to do what Chris Chibnall did badly, right? So Chris Chibnall believed that certain things needed to be rectified, things from the past and correct things, right? And here's the thing: you say in your own quote that you're not mad at people for the past because it was the past. Well, then leave it in the past. Leave it in the past, right? The bottom line is this: is that if you think that Davros is problematic, well, then don't use him for your show. Simple as that, right? I think it's absolutely ridiculous, though, to be quite honest with you, that you haven't even actually asked the community in question. You talk about communities and all of this. You haven't asked them because a lot of wheelchair users were absolutely disgusted by this decision. Again, as I said, RTD needed to come in and write the best version of Doctor Who possible, not be listening to us or listening to so-called fans out there. And this is why we're in the situation that we're in. Now, this isn't going to get any better. Listen, he's put a wheelchair ramp also on the TARDIS, so you know this isn't going to be the end of the whole thing, right? But the thing about it is, he's not going to do it. That's going to be a respectful way, like we've seen with Chibs, right? It's just going to be done just superficially, and wheelchair users have every right to be absolutely uh be going mad and crazy and angry at RTD. It is very damaging what he has done. It's not the opposite. This is damaging. This is right. At the bottom line is, as I said, you're not listening to fans. You're listening to the wrong people. I said you shouldn't be listening to anybody personally, right? You should have just wrote the best version of Doctor Who that you could. But if you were going to listen to people, well, then you should have been listening to the people that have been complaining the last 5 or 6 years about what the problems have been with the show and what the issues are and what needs to happen, right? But again, listening to people that you shouldn't be listening to, and they're driving this, I suppose you may as well say, and it's absolutely disgusting because these people are all driven by agenda. They're driven to try push the long term fans away and do anything in their power to push the long term fans away. Remember, these are the very same fans that bullied Peter Davison offline, Michael Sheen offline, bullied John Barrowman to the point that the man was contemplating not being here anymore, seeking counselling and all of that. Right? Same people bullied Noel Clark offline, right? All of these people, right? And then their latest victim is one of their biggest allies of all. And later on, I will throw a video up for you guys, a little slideshow video like I used to do back in the day. Of course, I will cover the names of these creatures because I will get into trouble off YouTube. But wait till you see the type of stuff that they were talking about in relation to Georgia Tennant. And as you know, Georgia Tennant has also been bullied offline by these people. So these are the people. Oh, by the way, the funny thing is these were the same people that were actually absolutely outraged when RTD and David Tennant came back to the show, sending threats, right? Um, and now these are the very same people that RTD has been pandering to. I mean, Chris Chibnall made the same mistake. I thought you were a clever man, Russell. This is absolutely. Look, I do not agree with Georgia Tennant's views on trans ideology with kids and all of this gender stuff, right? And I might like her opinions, and I may respond to some. But the bottom line is, nobody has the right to be bullied offline. And these so-called fans, time and time again, Russell, have bullied people off social media because they don't get their own way. I'm going to give you a warning here, right? They will soon turn on you, okay? And they have already, by the way, in relation to Yasmin Finney's character, right? Be under no illusion. You are going to be under the spotlight of these people. And as soon as you make another mistake, because you've already made a mistake according to them, then it's game over for you. And you see, this is what happens when you pander to that side and you aim the show to that side of the fandom. Your only goal was to come in and make Doctor Who better than what it was under the previous showrunner. But you're not even capable of doing that right now. Now, if this if this change is a permanent change, as in that this is the way we're going to see future Davros, right? Because what they could mean is that, well, that change that you're seeing in there, that's true. Now that's part of canon, and that's what they mean by they're not going back on it, right? Which would make more sense, I suppose. But if this is proper permanent, and this is where this is this is how Davros is going to be portrayed on screen, well then, someone seriously, whoever owns, I don't know who owns the rights to the Davros. Like if it's the Terry Nation estate, if it is, yous seriously need to do something about this. This has gone on far too long now. I mean, they haven't even, you look at how the Daleks have been portrayed in New Who, especially. Let's be honest, have they been really done any justice? Uh, People need to be seriously looking at all of this because it's disrespectful to the creators and their estates. Um, and this shouldn't even be called Doctor Who. It's absolutely awful. RTD, you better pull a rabbit out of the hat. You better pull off a miracle because I tell you one thing, you fail with this one job, it's over. It's over. And it'll be deserved as well because, again, these people refuse to listen, right? Listen, I'm not saying you should take every single idea on board that people have on this side of the argument would give, right? He doesn't have to take every single one of them on board. But the fact of the matter is, if the showrunner like RTD or one of the executive producers on his team were to listen to fans, then we might get somewhere. Might be able to explain our side of the argument and say, listen, we've no problem with diversity and inclusion. But you've got to do it this way instead of doing it the way that you're doing it because the way you're doing it is superficial and the audience can see right through that. And remember, Doctor Who's a sci-fi show and it needs to go back to its roots because we feel over time that it's moved away from that. So that's uh that's what I'd say to him. At the end of the day, right? The people on the other side of the fandom criticise me, say I'd love nothing better than Doctor Who to be taken off. And there were times, I'm not going to lie, I did try to get people to boycott the show and all of that, right? Um, but the bottom line is this, right? If Doctor Who went back to its roots and start telling some great sci-fi stories and historicals back the way they used to do it. You could do. I'm not saying do your 25-minute episodes and all of that because but I mean Disney Plus do that. With some of their shows, 20, 25 minutes, 30-minute episodes, whatever it is, right? I mean, you could probably get away with doing Doctor Who that way nowadays, right? But tell really good stories. Make it about the storytelling, the character development, and all of that. Instead of the superficial stuff that you want to do. Again, if you bring these people in and you give them decent character development and dialogue, nobody has a problem. I mean, Captain Jack is the perfect example in Doctor Who, and there are plenty of other LGBT characters out there that were well developed under both eras of New Who. So, I mean, look, all of this is bull crap from the other side when they say we're against all of that. Again, when it's done properly, some fans may find it a little bit off putting, but the majority of us didn't mind that stuff. I didn't mind that stuff because they were still telling great bloody stories. And that's all I want RTD to do. Tell some great bloody. Look, you can write a program like It's a Sin years and years, and they're absolutely stellar in writing and character development. And then you come into Doctor Who and you decide you're going to throw everything that you know about writing and character development and story development out the bloody window. And that's what I don't get. That's what I don't get, right? The children in need special rubbish. The three specials, right? You call them the 60th anniversary. Sorry, but if you analyse them, you know, they were average at best. We needed better than average, right? And then the Christmas special, I still haven't gotten over what I've watched Christmas Day. I don't know what the F that all was, man. Still don't. There were some parts of it that I did enjoy. I'm not gonna lie. I always say it. Like, see, this is the thing about the other side. They don't tell you that. I tell you about the bits that I do like. They just want to tell you guys out there that he hates everything. He's this that. No, I don't. Right? There are some elements that I did love. Right? There are other elements that I absolutely hated, and I thought what cringe worthy moments. Right? And I'm not saying Doctor Who has never been cringe worthy. By the way, of course it has. Right? But we expect better now, right? Because we have had better. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that again because, people need to realize, the people out there that are still hoping that RTD is going to deliver. Look, I still have a little spark of hope. Of course I do. I want it to succeed because I want to be able to watch Doctor Who again and enjoy it. Right? But I'm under no illusion. I'm not naive. I could already tell where this is going, and I just believe that fans are setting themselves up again for another fall. And I don't know why we keep setting ourselves up time and time again because we do it all the time, guys. We do it all the time. We set ourselves up to fall all of the bloody time. And I just don't get it why we do it to ourselves. I really don't. We just need to face the reality, right? The show knew who that came along, right? And ended with Stephen Moffat, right? And now it doesn't matter whether you like a particular series or you hate a particular series or not. But that was up until that point, that to me was considered that's the whole of New Who, as far as as far as I'm I'm concerned, right? That for me. I don't dismiss Peter Capaldi's era. And I know some people do because there's woke elements and all to it. It's not as bad as what we got during the Whittaker era, and it's definitely not going to be as bad as what we got here. At least Moffat tried to fight back against some of it. I've realised that over time, right? But his era is not as bad as people make it out to be. Moffat's era is not as bad. It did go a bit down the fantasy route, but you know what? He still had those sci-fi elements to it, right? He still had those sci-fi elements to it, right? It wasn't strictly fantasy. He done some fantasy episodes. Nobody is under no illusion. He did try something different. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Right? I'll give Moffat one thing. He did try some stuff, didn't always get it right, but he was. And another thing as well, he wasn't afraid of upsetting fans, and yet near the end he got a bit cranky. But at that stage, he was being bleeding hammered every direction by feminists, by fans, and stuff like that. And I think he did burn out. But Moffat, I will still look. I enjoy the Moffat era quite a lot. I got to be honest, and especially Matt. I do love the Matt Smith era. I got to be honest. I do like well, nearly all of the episodes, not all of them, but most of his episodes. And Peter Capaldi, as I said, I didn't mind all of his episodes. There were ones that were absolute, but if he wasn't in it, then it would have been an absolute shambles. It was just because Peter was in it, he kind of elevated the script, I suppose. Um, and that's what I think of Peter Capaldi's Doctor. He elevated a lot of average scripts, but we got to remember that Moffat was writing Sherlock and all at that stage and stuff like that. And I always thought, you know, and I said at the time that that would be uh, a big distraction um, when I was on Facebook quite a lot in groups, which I had to eventually end up leaving when I started this YouTube channel because obviously, some of these groups had people in it that were on Twitter and stuff like that, and then I start getting bad mouthed and basically they tried to bully me out of these groups. Well, which they succeeded in some, I suppose, got me to go, so I left. And others I just left before the shit hit the fan. So that's the way it goes there. But again, the nice side of the fandom. But just before we wrap up, actually, so some of you may have noticed that Lee is suspended from uh, X, or Problem Being, as some of you know him by. Now, there's been a couple of people bragging about the fact that he's being suspended. Uh, you know, the two usual suspects in the fandom. Anyway, just here to let you know because I keep in touch with him on Instagram, and he's gotten back to me because I wanted to know what was going on. So, um, just to let you know, the reason why he was suspended off X was because he was defending himself against the bad Germans that we have today. As you know, Problem being has Jewish heritage, runs through his family, and he's been taking a lot of stick on X from these lefty twats that are calling him and other Jewish people some horrible stuff. So basically, he got suspended because he was defending himself against anti-Semites, and nothing to do with um, the people that are gloating, but they had to gloat about how apparently they called Lee out for his false reporting of the ratings. And I just want to say one thing briefly on that. Lee has done more honest reporting than any of you guys have done in the last few years that yous have been reporting on stuff. The numbers have been clearly fudged by the BBC. Whether you believe it or not, I don't really care. But to gloat the fact that you were the person that called them out just goes to show where your mentality is. As I said before, you're weak, right? And a grown ass man like yourself, and you're still carrying on 6 years later. And as for the other little fella out there that decided to pipe up, listen for a minute, right? You sold your friends out, and it became very lucrative for you. Okay, you're well in there with the other side and RTD and all of them, right? But don't be getting involved in something that's nothing to do with you. Okay, keep your mouth shut and you just do what you're doing and keep grifting like you do every day. All right, because it's become very successful for you. So don't ruin it all by being a little mouth. Okay, you let Mr. Teabag uh, lose his shit over people that are coming out with counter arguments, and you just concentrate on what you have to do on your little channel in your little bubble. Okay. And as for you, Mr. Teabag, I don't know how many times you have to be told, right? If you want to have a debate, right, unblock the people that you've blocked and actually ask them for a debate instead of hiding behind your block wall like a little coward. Okay? So listen, don't be gloating, right? Because you're gloating at the fact that that a guy with Jewish heritage, right, was suspended for defending himself against anti-Semites. That's what you're actually celebrating. But I'm actually, do you know what? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because you're a Jeremy Corbyn fan anyway, aren't you? So I'm not surprised that you would be gloating anyway. But you need to stop now. You need to. You're a grown ass man. I'm going to say this right, and anybody that follows that man, can I just say to you guys as his subscribers, he's doing you guys a disservice, right? When he's not putting out the content that he should be putting out, and he puts out very limited of that content, but he has no problem of calling people out when they used to do, as he would call, hit pieces or calling people out, and now he's doing the exact same thing, which means he's robbing you guys of proper content. Why you all subscribe to his channel in the first place? Okay, so maybe you guys that support this fella need to start calling this guy out and demand that he stick to the content that he promised you all. Especially if this man is going to be begging to his subscribers and begging to his followers on Twitter, right? That he's looking for 400 quid so he can do a video on the BBC ratings of a TV show, right? The guy makes plenty of money on YouTube and he's still asking for money. So as you guys as subscribers should be demanding more from him, right? You should be demanding more from him because these kind of this is the ironic thing. He used to call people out for doing the videos that he's doing. When he used to come out and call people white supremacists and all the ists and phobes, and people did videos on him, he'd get people to report them, right? But now he's doing the exact same thing and it's okay. Do you know what I mean? So you guys, as his subscribers, in my opinion, should be demanding that he stick to the content that you all joined him for, right? He's a review channel. He should be doing reviews, not doing hit pieces on people that he doesn't like because they have opposite opinions to him, right? And then the thing about it is the coward has all these people blocked, including myself, and won't debate any of us, right? And then he comes up with bullshit excuses on the reason why he won't debate, saying, "Oh well, if I brought them on my channel, they'd try have my channel taken down." No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't, because we want to go on and make a show you on your own channel. Nobody'd want to take your channel bloody down. You won't come on to our channels either, right? He's gotten plenty of invites off me. He's got plenty of invites off other people, and he's refused, right? But he'll hide behind his block wall and still fire shots, and then people are supposed to stay silent and not open their mouth about it. That's not how things work. Okay. Bottom line is, right, you either want to debate people, and if you don't want to debate people and you want to stay behind your block wall, then I suggest you keep your mouth shut about people and the comments they make on this side of the fandom, and concentrate on your subscribers and concentrate on giving them the best content that you possibly can. Right? Apparently, you're the professional here. I'm not a professional, right? You're a professional writer apparently, and on all of this, that, and the others you keep bragging about, right? So start acting like one and stop acting like a baby. Anyway, uh, just to finish up, don't know if Lee will be returning um to X. He's not feeling up to it, but I'm pretty sure whatever he was suspended for, because his account was suspended the last time and he appealed it and he won. Now, if he feels like appealing, he will appeal. Obviously, if he doesn't, he won't. But he's feeling a bit down because of all of this anti-Semitic behavior that's going on Twitter. I mean, Elon Musk talks about, free speech and all of that, and stamping out hatred and bigotry, right? It doesn't matter what view people have on certain issues. If people are being bullied and harassed because of either their religion or or their beliefs, you know, there's serious question has to be asked. The bottom line is this. The, you know, this is the thing, right? I've always said this. Religion, religion. If you look through our history, religion has been the cause of most of the bad things that have happened throughout world history. Um, the bottom line is this modern age of integrating us all, and having diverse countries like they want us to have. It's not always going to work because people are going to clash, and Northern Ireland is the perfect example of that. Now, eventually they did obviously work together, but it takes time to get there. But there's still tensions in Northern Ireland still to this day. You know, the bottom line is, some places you can succeed in integrating with different religions, different nationalities, different diverse, different cultures. But the majority of the time, it doesn't work, and that's just the bottom line. And what's happening to Lee? He gets it from both sides as well, being a gay man. Um, it's absolutely disgusting. And then when I see people out there marching all the time and protesting, it turns me stomach. I've got to be honest with you, you know. And then people try to stay neutral on a certain topic and are bullied off. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's just absolutely disgusting what's going on in society and the world. And as I said to Lee, um, we have your back as we always do. He's been a good friend to me, and what he's gone through is absolutely disgusting. People should really hang their heads in shame, but that's the modern world that we live in today. But kind of rubs me up the wrong way when you have people like those two gloating that this person has been bullied offline and suspended because he's defending himself. But anyway, that's life, isn't it? Well, listen, I hope you enjoy your weekend. I wanted to do a little pre-record for you, because as I said, I was feeling a bit drained and still am. So, wanted to do put something out for you anyway, and I'll hopefully have that Georgia tenant video up tonight on Friday. Friday, this is Friday now, just so because it's a pre-record this. If not, it'll be up over the weekend. And if I'm up to doing the movies on the weekend, I will let you know and I'll give you a shout. If not, I will talk to you very soon. But until then, listen, have a good one. Have a good weekend. Look after yourselves, and don't forget to leave a like, share as well if you want to. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And leave a comment in the comment section as you always do, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.